It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Mariam Nonge. How are you doing today?
Hi, what's tickling your fancy? Why are you laughing?
The director said, whoa, look, he loves you. They're laughing to the set. Anyway, how are you doing?
I'm good. First, Nima sent a message. She wants me to give a shout out to a sister. She says a soulmate like no other. Her name is Mariam Ibrahim Bello. We know her. Yes, we know her. So she's just saying she hopes you have a good day. And also from me to say thank you for all your love and just being a wonderful sister. You may have started off as Nima's sister, but you're my sister now as well. So wishing you a beautiful day. Happy birthday, Mariam.
Happy birthday, Mariam. She's 2 days after
Our mentor.
Our mentor's birthday, and you know, like for someone that saw the relationship in the beginning, it's like when I see you and Sheung, you bless God for having people like that in your life. That you spread your arms to so many people, and some people actually take that arm. God bless you, Mariam, for being such a sister to Nima. God bless you.
Oh, happy birthday, Mariam. Happy birthday to Mariam. Fantastic. I mean,
but you know her, you just...
I know her. Me and her never really had that connection, but I know that Nima talks about her all the time, and she brings food for Nima, and he cares for her, so happy birthday to her.
She's just a sister.
How are you doing, Toby?
I'm fine, thank you. I don't know Mariam, but happy birthday to Mariam. I'm fine, thank you. There's traffic coming here again, so please, I want to just appeal to the people in charge of the road construction. I mean, there was there wasn't traffic yesterday from OPIC to Secretariat, and today again, they've scraped it off, and there's traffic again.
What is going on? Well, we should probably give them the...
Maybe they are rushing it before school starts. You never know. So let us...
Remember you told them to...
So maybe benefit of the doubt. Let us hope that by the time school starts, they've actually stopped.
Yes.
How are you doing, Tokwe?
I'm grateful to God. You know, God just always... You know, this one I was like, Jesus is taking care of me. Because, like, when something wants to harass me like this, you know, they say God will give you a way of escape. Thank God for giving me a way of escape all the time. Very grateful.
Cool. Yeah. So I'd like to say congratulations to Honorable Hakeem Shitu. He's the new SUBEB chairman. Yay. Congratulations. I do a lot of work with that in that area. So I just wanted to wish him congratulations. And the entire SUBEB work has started. I mean, everybody's grinding. Make sure that, and I hear that the commissioner designates are being screened already. As I saw, Mrs. Tuke Benson Awuni was screened yesterday. Mrs. Folashade Adefisa should be screened today. So wishing them the best. Yeah. Hopefully they get great portfolios that they can actually help to develop Lagos State. I'm wishing them all the best.
I think we should pay attention to those screenings as well for commissioners because they're closer to us.
Yeah.
And knowing them and hearing them would help us feel like we're part of the process.
Yes. Let's go on a quick break now. When we return, we'll look at the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Tinubu, petrol price won't go up. Subsidy removal stays. We shut down NAF jet. That's the Nigerian Air Force jet group claims responsibility. Sheibu can't destabilize my government, says Obaseki. FBN Holdings shareholders okay 150 billion naira rights issue. Survival wage soon for Nigerians, Speaker assures. Tinubu inherited terrible economic crisis, says Oshomole. And high food prices, fares push inflation to 24.08%. Federal government files fresh charges against Emefiele in Abuja. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Okay, I'll start with the major headline. So the presidency yesterday said that petrol price will not go up and also explained that the subsidy withdrawal will not be reversed. The presidency still speaking says the president is convinced based on the information before him that we can maintain current pricing without reversing our deregulation policy by swiftly cleaning up existing inefficiencies within the midstream and downstream petroleum sectors. They said that they're also saying that because of, speculations, it caused panic buying, and then Labour threatened to go on strike without notice. The presidency said that they think that the Labour was a bit hasty in that threat, and says that we believe that the threat was premature and that there is need for all those involved to ensure that fact-finding and diligence are done on what the current state of the downstream and midstream petroleum industry is before any threats or conclusions are arrived. So I think this is just a very good explanation, because we had heard even from yesterday that there may be a reversal of the subsidy removal to make things easier for Nigerians. So now we know the presidency is saying that is not going to happen, and also we're not expecting any changes in the prices. Even NMPCL too has confirmed that there will be no changes to the pump prices as they are right now.
Any other story in the nation? Yes. FBN Holdings shareholders, 150 billion naira rights issue. So shareholders of the First Bank have approved the appointment of Lagos businessman Femi Otedola as a non-executive director of Nigeria's oldest financial services group. The approval was given at the AGM that they had. The shareholders also okayed the increase in authorized share capital and proposed 150 billion naira rights issue with mandates to the board of directors to dictate the terms and conditions of their rights, as well as dispose of rights not taken up during the period. Two main issues, Otedola directorship and new capital raise, were at the heart of the long-running intrigues around the AGM, which actually pitted pro-Otedola shareholders against the renowned business mogul Oba Otudeko. The back and forth were going on between them, but the AGM was something that everybody was monitoring and to see what was going to happen. But the fireworks are ongoing, and we'll see what happens afterwards.
Billionaire season.
Billionaire season, right? Having their fireworks. But any other story in the nation?
Yes, living wage coming soon. Speaker Abbas assures Nigerians. So the House of Reps Speaker Ajuri has said that upward review of the living wage of Nigerians. He went on to say that the poor wage promotes corruption in any society. And he expressed his opinion when he said that sometimes, well, in Nigeria, the take-home pay cannot actually take people home. So, and he understands that there's a need to quickly review this. We hope that this comes soon. There are no details about the amount that this is going to be increased to, but he says that there are plans in place to ensure that Nigerians are softened by the realities on ground right now. So
the governor, former suspended governor of the CBN, Emefiele, has two fresh count charges have been filed against him. He was arrested on the 10th of June and he's been detained by the DSS since then. Even though he was granted bail on the 25th of July, the DSS, after a slight fisticuff with the correctional facility officials, detained him since then. So when they also made a filing to withdraw the charges, because we remember there was a charge against him for illegal possession of firearms. Now, the government has announced yesterday that they're withdrawing the charge for illegal possession of firearms, that based on new investigation, they realized that they are going to be withdrawing it, but they did the withdrawal orally, which was wrong, according to Emefiele's lawyers, Mr. Joseph Daudu. He opposed the fact that, one, the DSS has disobeyed the court order, and the DSS cannot withdraw a court motion orally without it being written. So that's based on those two, that the court should strike out the case entirely. That's the case of the court against the suspended governor, Emefiele. But the new charges that have been brought up against him, they did not specify the details of those charges. And they also mentioned that they've gotten a court order because they suspected that they might be arresting two of his siblings. So his siblings have got to court to say to prevent DSS from arresting them. That's George Emefiele and Okanta Emefiele. Both of them have gotten a restraining order by Justice E. Ukwe, who is the vacation court judge, to stop DSS from arresting both siblings of Emefiele. We're waiting to see how this plays out, and we're hoping that there will be no loophole through which the suspended CBN governor can say this case can be dismissed. If there is actually a case, let's see the case quickly.
The Punch. Federal government arraigns Emefiele allies on Thursday. One dies, others missing as oil rig collapses in Delta. Abia woman arrested for stealing friend's 1-month-old baby. Niger ambush, Tinubu mourns soldiers, NAF vows to pound on bandits. Warri Itakpe train derails, NRC suspends operations. Niger, ECOWAS tightens sanctions, junta demands power supply. FG may sell stakes in NNPC and 19 entities. And EFCC goes after dollar speculators, CBN slashes bank allocations. Okay, let me take the picture story. One person has been confirmed dead, while 3 others are still missing at the rig, the swamp drilling rig operated by the Nigerian oil firm Depthwise collapsed in the early hours of Tuesday morning. The rig was contracted by Seplat Nigeria Petroleum Company and a joint venture when the incident occurred. It was a rig in transit to a planned drilling location at Ovo, a Delta state, when it collapsed. Our thoughts and prayers, according to the reports, our thoughts and prayers are with the families, because Seplat said that the emergency response and rescue have been alongside working with the rig owner to rescue the 3 that are still not been able to be found since Tuesday. According to them, their utmost priority will be to continue to be the safety and well-being of the affected personnel and their families, and they'll provide further details once they have updates. But as of the time of this report, those 3 were still missing, but 92 out of 96 were reported to have arrived safely and rescued safely. But just that remaining 4, 1 died, 3 are still missing, and they're hoping to get the person very soon. Okay, any other story in Punch?
Yes, I have the Nigerian Railway Corporation. So on Tuesday, it suspended its Warri Itakpe train services following the derailment of the train at the Ajaokuta station. So this train it's called WITS, resumed operations April 24th this year, after it had been suspended because it derailed. It derailed January 2023. There were 148 passengers and 38 crew members derailed into the Kogi forest. That's in January. And now it's back on. It was back on since April and it's derailed again. So it's been shut down for now. Investigations will go on until, I'm saying that, I don't think it was there. They said that they'll work on it. Commencement of operations will be promptly communicated, and they regret any hardship this might cause. It was my own thought that I hope to hear that there will be investigations on why this particular one will derail twice in, 4 months? Yeah, what is happening on that? Because, lives are important. The safety of the people who use the train service, very important.
All right.
We need to know what's wrong.
Let's go on a quick break now. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Toby, you have a story in Punch? We should move on.
No, I'm not moving on. I'm taking the story about CBN slashing bank dollar allocation. The deposits money banks are saying that they are unable to fulfill their customers' needs, that customers are demanding for forex for school fees, personal travel, amongst others, and based on this current slash, they are unable to meet the need. The Punch, however, spoke to some bureau de change operators who said that the Naira had earlier exchanged for 956 to a dollar on Monday, is now exchanging for 925 Naira to a dollar on Tuesday. And they're saying this is because the government is promising to pump in more dollar into the market, and based on that, the market is reacting. The official window was 785. And at some point, it even goes to 799 Naira before closing at 774. Someone that was affiliated with CBN is also saying that asking the CBN to inject funds is not sustainable. We must have an economic perspective to changing the challenge of the naira going down, that the BDCs should be allowed to buy dollar at official rate and sell, that's the best intervention, not just keeping it with the money deposit bank, that many people don't have confidence in the dollar, and so they are buying, in the naira, that people have lost confidence in the naira, so people are converting all their monies into dollars, and that the intervention is not to flood the naira, flood the market with dollars, that the CBN policy of floating the naira and not defending it is not working as it is right now.
Okay.
So,
you still have points, should we move on?
Abia woman arrested for stealing 1-month-old baby. So a family friend of this family stole their child, a 1-month-old baby, and it was during a celebration. So the Abia State Police Special Weapons and Tactics team in Aba received credible information and effectively apprehended one Adaeze Lawrence. Her name is Adaeze Lawrence. And the child was eventually found in the possession of this woman, but she didn't have any reason as to why she did what she did. And the article just highlights the fact that we should be more protective of our children, and we should be sure of who we trust around our children also.
Okay, moving on to Daily Sun. Fuel price taxes won't go up, says federal government. More trouble for Emefiele. Federal government files 20 fresh charges against suspended CBN governor. Alvan Ikoku panel indicts Okorocha for forceful acquisition of land. Terrorism. Katsina tops list of IDPs in Northwest, says UN. International Igbo Conference begins tomorrow in UN, and that's University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Nigerians knock FG over clampdown on all eyes on judiciary billboards. Just school shootings, newly married couple identified as victims. Okay, so should I start with the conference coming up? The International Conference on Igbo Studies will be happening at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. It begins tomorrow. The two-day event will be themed Re-Imaging Igbo Studies in the 21st Century. It will be chaired by the Chairman Board of Presidents of the Council of Igbo States in America. And I think they also partner with Ohaneze Ndigbo with this, and also the Council of Igbo States in America and the Igbo World Assembly. Eminent scholars and other personalities from Igbo homeland, diaspora are slated to attend the event. The event is going to be virtual and physical. A statement by the director said that the platform is going for scholars and researchers, experts, enthusiasts to explore and discuss the current state and future direction for Igbo studies in Nigeria and beyond. I think this is important because it's important for us to begin to celebrate and, give a platform to our local culture and our lingua, so that we can continue this. I mean, many of us are proud of all the movies we've watched in recent times, but we need to project our culture the best we can all the time. Any other story in Daily Sun?
Katsina tops list of IDPs in Northwest. Due to the current upsurge of terrorism and as a result of that, murderous activities of bandits in the parts of the Northwest, the United Nations International Organization for Migration says that there are above 1 million people that are internally displaced currently in the North. And out of these, a whopping 56% comprise of women and children. And so the Kaduna State government and Katsina State government is calling on organizations to help with peace movements within the area so that there will be a reduction in the number of internally displaced people in the North.
Yes, I have an update from the story I took yesterday where it was reported that herdsmen had gone into a school in Plateau State in Riom local government, that's the Bekor school, and people were shot, 2 died and 2 were in hospital. Sadly, there's more information on the 2 who died. They're newly wedded couple who were doing their job while in the school premises when these people came and shot at them and killed them. The spokesperson for the school is asking government to, he says, well, this is a provocation, like there's no provocation as bad as this, where you come right into the school compound and then shoot people when they're asking why your cows are grazing, and asking the government to shut down open grazing.
Completely.
Yes, because so I want to make a personal appeal to the presidency. I think this is a matter of urgency and emergency in Plateau State. We cannot keep reporting deaths from that, from that region because someone just has a gun and can walk in anywhere and just shoot people burn down villages and go away. We need to deal with this immediately.
Okay.
I have a story, please. So the panel, the committee that was set up by the Imo State government for the recovery of the land that was belonging to Alvin Ikoku Federal College of Education. And yesterday, the committee has submitted its report to Governor Hope Uzodinma. And the committee recommended that the school land be returned to the school. Apparently, the former governor of the state, former Governor Rochas Okorocha, had used military hoodlums, brute force to take the college land that was given to them by Shell and gave it, they said it was a bazaar to his associates. These associates include two of his in-laws, the speaker, former speaker of the State Assembly, and Prince Charles Amadi, Chief Ugochukwu Hillary also benefited from this illegal acquisition. And the sad part is they demolished 101 buildings belonging to staff of the college who were already living there when they confiscated the properties. So they've been given 6 months, according to the recommendation, for the Commissioner for Lands of Imo State to recover, over the next 6 months, recover the land and return back to the school, and a CFO to be issued to the school for the land. Governor Udozema has thanked the committee for doing a thorough job and providing detailed investigation that is incontroversial about how the story took place.
Moving on quickly now to Vanguard. Let's find the story we've not taken. We'll maintain current petrol price without subsidy. Resources, Tinubu. Flood. Lagos issues red alert on Apapa, Itiosa, Ojo, Ikeja, others. Harsh economy. Buhari spent 96% of national income on debt, says Oshomole. West African military chiefs to discuss Niger crisis this week. Villagers flee communities in Niger State as a result of the helicopter clash. And FG files fresh 20-count charge against Emefiele in Abuja.
I'll take the military plane crash. We took it yesterday. The story here is saying the residents are fleeing because there's been a huge influx of military and soldiers in that community because of what has happened. And it's saying that it has created panic amongst the villagers who are now moving to other neighboring villages to stay because they do not, they're just afraid because of the large number of military in the community. But I also wanted to join it to the group that has taken responsibility for the crash, for bringing down this particular airplane. And they said a notorious terrorist, Dogo Gide, this is from Nation. So his name is Dogo Gide. He's claimed responsibility, he and his followers. They said that there's a short video that's gone around. The Nation reporter said it showed bodies, like 11 bodies on the ground with wearing camouflage. They were trying to confirm, they were confirming that these were soldiers, that they shot at them, and that they brought down the aircraft as well, and that they're doing it, what they're doing, according to these terrorists, is that they're trying to preach the word of God. It has nothing to do, and anyone that comes for them, they are ready for those people. And they said they were coming to get Gide and see how God puts the military in their hands. So, obviously, this is sad, really sad. And the president also commiserated with the families of those that lost their lives.
All right, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we return, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Today on the show, we'll be discussing the financial discipline as a result of the recent economic realities that we're facing. How are we coping efficiently after the subsidy removal, the rising food inflation, high cost of goods and services, low income hardship across the nation, especially in view of recent times when we had our guest, Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, who admonished Nigerians on how to tighten up the belt, how to manage their financial resources in view of our realities today. Much later in the show, we'll be having a guest, a chartered accountant, who will be sharing with us some professional tips. But first, we'd like to open our phone lines to our viewers to share with us what they're doing, especially in this season. What are you doing to tighten your belt? What kind of decisions are you making internally at home to adjust? How can people learn from your own choices to make the right decisions, especially during this season? You can call us on 081 076 41679 090 241 63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC as we read your tweets. Please, how are you managing your finances this time? I mean, I remember when Dr. Lumine had come on the show. I wasn't here, but I know I watched it several times. He had saying that, if you are, who told you education must be a certain time? You have to start. You don't have to start a daycare for a creche. You know how we pay for creche and daycare. You don't have to start school until you really have to start school. Maybe now that it was trending to have your child to be in a daycare and creche, maybe now you just let the child stay at home and resume when they actually need to be in school. There are different things we have to adjust to. Even in food, how we're buying food, what are we buying? I mean, I have told on this show several times that I've stopped buying the box cereal for many times. Although Titi's mom called me, I'll give my children cereal. I'm like, Mommy, it's expensive. Because when you open one box,
it finishes.
It's done. Like when the 4 kids drink it, you only have enough for 2 more bowls. And that 2 more bowls, you now start fighting who's going to eat it. So it's always a drama in my house. I don't even bother buying them anymore. But so how, ladies, let me come to you. How are you? What have you adjusted? Especially
when you shared that story, I think it's been a while. It's not even in this recent economic.
It's the former one.
The former economic
one. It's not floating.
Yes.
And when you said it, I took it. I took it. Because I think Mayam also buttressed the fact that there are healthier
options,
meal options that we could take. Yes. So I took and implemented even before this season. So we are having this conversation. It's not a lamentation. It is practical steps. And I believe that when you're watching, you should also look at your own life and adjust accordingly. But I would like to hear from Toby.
Okay, so for the first time in my life, in my married life, I went to mile 12. To buy in bulk. Oh. And when I went there, I was shocked to see the level of, commerce that goes on there. I usually would have heard it over and over again. But me going there, and as I was just buying things, I was just saying, never will I buy anything in my area again. Never, God forbid. And, I was just saying it. And to be honest, since that time, we've not gone to the market. And I was like, gosh. So if this situation didn't happen, it wouldn't have pushed me to understanding that things can be gotten in a cheaper way. Then another thing I also do is that I engage my son in the conversation. I have 2 boys, but one is able to understand at this age. So even if there are things in the house, I try to ration it and explain to him that you will have it, but you can't have it now. And just bring him into the conversation such that things that would naturally take maybe 3 times in a day, he can now reduce it. And that's not me being wicked. That's me just making him understand that life is in phases, and there are times when it's not always abundance, just to make him understand that irrespective of the situation he finds himself in, he can adjust easily. So that's another thing. And then I've also learned to be very creative with business. Things that pushed over time, saying that this one business will be fine, because the rate at which we spend more these days is now higher. I now have to be creative with the way I do things and posting more videos and being more intentional about selling my market and not just being shy about it, And one of the things I postponed, trying to run a business for my children, starting a food business for my children, we launched it in this subsidy removal, era. And the progress made from that also is just so phenomenal. And I'm just grateful for this season, even though I would have preferred that it wasn't this tight. But it's just pushing me to be more creative about the things I would naturally just leave aside.
Okay, let me take Dr. Akanbi. We're having our phone lines open pretty early to hear from our viewers. Dr. Akanbi, thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, first time on the call.
Oh, welcome to the show.
Yeah, this is a beautiful topic this morning, actually.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. How to cope with the current, sharing from a personal experience. Well, luckily I got myself a bicycle to minimize my movement.
Really?
Car. Yes. I got the bicycle, then had to reduce the quantity of, the meat that kids consume by turning from large tin can to a sachet, so no more wastage. So one way or the other, that will reduce wastage. Then how would I put it now? I've improved on efficiency in auditing of food in the house to minimize a lot of wastage. So we reduce wastage in the house. In fact, it's funny to know that there are a lot of wastage going on that we have to minimize and prevent.
Right.
So, and all things being equal, with reduction there and there, the family is coping, and friends and family are not as well affected with whatever assistance we are rendering today. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Interesting, just like while he was speaking, because I remember that the previous financial crisis was when I put those policies in place. And even in my house, we have the 101. We have breakfast, no lunch, then we do dinner. But even now, what we've done is that we've pushed breakfast later. to much later. So breakfast is coming around like 11-ish, so the kids are just playing, they always go downstairs and have their basic, maybe slice of bread, because there's always bread. That one is constant in the house. Brush your teeth, you can just put some butter on the bread, and that holds them till maybe proper breakfast, or maybe beans, bread is done, or jam and egg, something is done at 11. Everybody has breakfast. And then dinner is about 6-ish, and we're done for the day. It's now back to back, because I can't be doing 3 meals a day in this economy. I don't even know who does 3. You do 3 meals?
They do 3 meals.
Wow.
My kids are they were very skinny. My kids were not really eating. I felt they were not eating well, and it didn't look. I struck by. I'm always like, they're okay, but I always just felt like I wasn't feeding them enough. So I'm happy that at 11 there now. So I'm not. I don't want them not to eat. What I don't want is no waste. So last night they were supposed to have yam and stew. They said the stew was watery because I cooked the stew myself. They like stew like
thick,
very thick. And it was a watery stew, and they said one of them said he wasn't going to eat it. I said, okay, no, you're not hungry. He said, actually, I wasn't really hungry. I said, I've already told my house girl that if the children are not hungry, don't cook for them. Put it in the fridge. I will eat it tomorrow. And that's what we do. We don't throw. Sometimes we used to put the food in the microwave that they'll eat it later, and they actually forget till the next day, which is bad. So I said, don't leave your leftover meals in the microwave. Always put it in a bowl, put it in the fridge. That way, it is not wasted. Part-time, I want to hear from you, Mariam.
Okay, I'll come to Mariam in a second. Let me take Tunde from Magodo. Thank you, Tunde, for calling.
Yeah, very good morning, Mariam.
You're live.
Please,
yes.
I just want, good morning. I just want to tell the people, the motorists like me, that drives around with this fuel situation, always make sure,
Oh, Tunde, we need to talk to Tunde. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Now we can. Please go ahead.
Okay. Make your hashtag your boomer zone. By the time you make your hashtag your boomer zone, so you want to top up, you're not going to spend much. Whether you spend, buy about 20 liters, which are about 12,000, 11,000.
So make your half tank when you refill.
Exactly, the boomer zone. So you make your half tank, you don't need to wait until your floodgate started showing red.
Yeah. That's a good idea, Tunde. Yes, that's a fantastic idea. Let me come to you, Mariam. Fueling, I'm going to come after
I feel like when it comes to food or whatever in my house, we've never been very excessive anyway. I'm lucky my kids don't like the cereal, whatever. They prefer to eat proper food. Also, maybe I'm lucky I have a smaller size family. But one thing I know I've done recently is I have ugu, I have pepper, I have stuff that I ask my gardener, so I'm doing that. I want to be able to get that from my house instead of going to the market to buy it, because it's penny wise, pound foolish. I think mostly, if you look at it, it's in those tiny, tiny things that you find that the expenses pile up. The only thing with the children and eating is now I insist, because now that they're on holiday, they're hungry at weird times. Very late, when you have asked them to go to bed, that's when they will tell you they're hungry. I will say, I'm sorry, you have to go to bed. As long as I know that you've had dinner, then just go to bed. When you wake up in the morning, if you wake up hungry, then have a proper breakfast. At least, because if you go to bed having eaten all sorts of stuff, then you will not even have a proper breakfast. Before I know it, I'm running again to make lunch or so.
You know, when you said something, I just remembered something. So for my milk, you know, they used to take a lot of milk. I used to buy the big bags, and then I decided I would buy the sachet. That one was easier for me because I give you one sachet and you're fine. But what we found out, in fact, this was just last week, my help then saw 4 sachets in my kid's bag. So they hide it. So I had to call for a meeting. I said, the owner of the bag, I don't want to mention the person's name. The owner of the bag, I called that person. I said, why did they find 4 in your bag? And the person said that, well, at night, I get hungry, I go downstairs, and I open it, and I put it in my bag. So she doesn't put it, the person doesn't want to put it in the bin, so the help won't see it. So puts it in the school bag. And it's just, you know, there's no nobody going to check your school bag. So it just so happened that my help was just looking around the house and just cleaned up the bag. And then so, boss, I was livid. So now I'm thinking that, how are we going to help these kids? They wanted, she said she was hungry at night, and she, well, you know.
What a child, honestly, for me.
So my help was angry, we hoped that I was beat up the child. But I understood that
if a child is hungry, a child should eat, honestly. So we differentiate between craving snack and actual hunger.
Yeah.
And that was, Dr. Lumide really gave me a good perspective on that. Like, if you are truly hungry, eat. But if it is that you are just, I want to snack on something, no, you can't just...
Shouldn't we snack?
Yes, we have snack, and I took my, and thankfully I have somewhere I get plantain chips that they can snack on, and I feel like we can do that, but I also limit what they are snacking on. But the real thing that, what she did, I didn't go to the market. There are 2 things I used to do before. Because I'm so busy, I don't want to cook. And I'll buy soups. My dear Nigerians, I have stopped buying soups. My soup customer has been checking on me. Auntie Emo, as your soup not finished, my mom came to the house. She said, your freezer is empty. I said, Mommy, I'm waiting to empty the freezer, then stock and cook. See me with big, it's been a long time, like in the past 6 years, I've not cooked. I brought out a massive pot, did massive stew, while doing massive egusi, as like my mother was eating, I said, I've missed your food. I've been busy, I've not been cooking. But with the economy, we cannot be buying 1 4-liter bowl of soup for 30-something thousand, 40-something thousand. So businesses are going to change, and some businesses will be affected. And maybe if we come back, we can talk to those businesses whose business model would be easily dispensed in this economy.
Okay, we're going to go on a break now. We'll come back, we'll still discuss fashion and the whole work. Stay with us to break back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing how we plan to manage our finances. And I said later on the show, we'll be bringing in a chartered accountant who will be giving us some proper tips on what to do. We're discussing fashion. I was going to go into fashion because many of us like to buy wigs, the makeup. You know, we just like to buy all these things. How are you adjusting in those areas?
Okay. Before we
go into that,
fashion,
okay.
Yes, I was saying that for the average Nigerian, buying in bulk may not be relatable because, one, the power supply itself is not so steady. So when we say we buy in bulk and portion, they may not relate. And then another thing I used to do for my son, my baby is going to be 2. I was trying to wait till he's 2 before introducing him to proper meals. But as it is now, we're all eating the eba together.
Please take it easy with the children, please.
And then before, I would naturally not give him maybe other meals, like maybe pap and all that. I would just always want to give him the best. But now I'll just, please, I need a pap vendor that has crayfish, that has, all those type of
I don't even like the fact that you said the best.
No, wait, let
brand.
No, it's not Igbo brand.
Okay.
Because there are Nigerian brands also that have...
So you are saying that as long as it's in a tin, it's
Package.
better than...
No,
Okay.
like this pap now, I would not give him just a plain pap. I would have the pap that has crayfish,
Yeah,
has
that's
other things into it,
Soybean.
as against, you know, buying the box
Right.
That's what we're
regulars that I
saying.
was
Yeah.
going to buy before. And, you know, this mindset about people saying that if you don't give your child a particular kind of meal, you're not taking care of that child enough is wrong. Pap, all those things also are good
grew up with
meals.
them.
Yes, we grew up with
Nutrients,
them.
they're
Yes,
nutrient
they're
dense.
nutrients too.
But I was going to say about bulk purchases. Like, for me, I figured that bulk purchases don't work for my household. And we waste more than when we do that. So you have yams, you have potatoes. Then my mom will bring all this. They have cabbage. But how many are we in my house? And then I find that I'm throwing away food. So I figured it's not working for me financially or any other, or otherwise. So we just buy as much as we need per time. That's for perishables like that. But then one of the things I also have started doing recently is bulk soups. Light is better in my area. I've complained about how light can be so terrible in my area, but recently it's a lot better. Put my soups in my freezer, and that keeps for a while. But you're right, many Nigerians do not have the luxury of having power 24/7. But we're going to fashion. We're going to fashion. We're going to makeup. So
Pause for a second. Let me have Hassan has been holding for a minute. Good morning, Hassan. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, everybody.
Yes,
Good
sir.
morning, sir.
I thank God that women are now keen in based on the economic reality. I'm very, very happy for that.
Keening, based on the economic reality.
You see, let me give you a small gist. For the first time in my life, I was in a filling station yesterday. I saw a filling station attendant doing a sort of marketing. Marketing is just that telling the motorists, please come and fill up your tanks. Fill up your tanks. Then we now ask her, where do we get the money? Say, no, just fill it so that we save you money. I say, okay. So now it's biting you harder. You see, this issue of fuel, this energy, is a very, very sensitive matter in our economy. And I'm looking forward to the federal government to review this thing because it's reflecting all over the space. People cannot even plan well. They cannot even think well because of this energy issue we are seeing, because of the strategic nature of this energy, this petroleum we are seeing. There's a need for federal government to have a second look at it. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Hassan, for your view. All right, so the reason why we're going into fashion, because a lot of women, I mean, we're discussing with our viewers this morning, a lot of women, fashion is one of the things that we spend money on. A lot of us find it difficult, and there's always that pressure to look a certain way. You know, you're in a certain industry, you're in a bank, you have to look a certain way. You know, they say, look the way you want to be
dressed.
Look, you know, so you have this whole thing around you. Then we come
I wanted to reply
Hassan.
Hassan, many, it's an uncommon advice, but I'll say it on air. I don't want to say, I didn't want to go there. Many women have been supporting their husbands in the food department, in the kitchen, for time immemorial. I know many people that will tell me that every time my husband gives me money, I'm always adding more to be able to cook what he's seen, and that's like a standard. So to hear Hassan say it, and I've heard men say it, that women don't understand. Women will give money for food, they will say it has finished. The average woman in Nigeria, from their mother and grandmother, have always known that they add money to soup. So my advice to people around me is never add money to soup. What they give you, deliver. Add money to the other things that are specific. Pay for things that are, you know, I pay for DSTV, I pay for I'm paying for cable TV, I pay for subscription, so that they will know how much you're adding. Because the day you added pala to the soup, the husband did not know that you spent 10,000 naira adding pala to the soup, and you will not get that acknowledgement. You will get commercial like this, like, you don't understand what I'm facing. So please, Mr. Hassan,
well, different strokes.
I know majority of women are actually adding and supporting.
And I agree with you 100%, but let me just give you maybe a little cultural perspective. There are some cultures where the man is the one that even goes to the market, does all the shopping, where the women are not out there as much, maybe not even able to earn because they're at home taking care of the children. So the man feels, I have shopped all this, I've brought it home, and it's finished. So it's not necessarily that she has put her extra money on, because she doesn't even have the extra to put on. I just wanted to give a little of that perspective. But let's go to this fashion. Because I wanted to give like a real life example. When Mariah did her, her book launch, we're all thinking, Mariah gave us dress code. She said, what did you call it again? Glam Owambe. We're now asking each other, what are we going to wear? Or what are we going to wear? Should we go and chatter? Everybody was there. And I heard everybody saying, which? Me, I'm using my old whatever. I was like, oh, really? Yeah. I dragged one old list that I had. I just refashioned it. I want to use the opportunity to talk about sustainable fashion. So it's a thing that people are talking about a lot. It's almost become like a buzzword. And I'm happy because I've always had that mindset, which is buying clothing that can last you a while. Clothing that you can wear in other ways, clothing that you can remix. When you want to buy your shoes that are good quality so that you can wear them for longer. And then, whether we like it or not, no matter how we want to form, we are all pressured one way or the other to keep up with the Joneses.
Absolutely.
But now it's as if it's affecting even the Joneses. So now, let us all wear what we have at home. Let's just be good quality. Fast fashion, have an outfit that you can just buy every other, I don't want to name any price because prices differ for people, But there are some, we know that they are quite cheap to buy, but also quite cheap in quality. Right. And they do not last so long, especially when you also have children. You want to get them quality clothing that will last them a while. What our parents used to do that we used to feel so upset that they buy you extra long trousers or extra long shirts. Yeah. It's looking like we have to go back there.
When you talked about my book launch, I wanted to do a photo shoot. Yeah. I was so excited about it. I mean, I don't like photo shoots. But everybody said, you have to do a photo shoot, you have to do a photo shoot. I was looking for who's going to dress me up. I'm looking for clothes. My husband said, are you okay? All these mom's clothes are in the wardrobe. What are you going to do? I beg. That's how the Owambe idea came, because I had mom's clothes. Yeah. Wear them, use them for photo shoots. It's cheaper. You don't have to buy anything. And then, now after wearing mom's clothes, I said, why don't I theme my event Owambe? You might as well just do it. It just worked out perfectly. So I didn't go and say because I wanted to do photo shoots for my birthday. I now have...
We became creative.
Yeah.
And I think
it was more affordable.
Challenges make us... The
truth is... rethink.
Challenges are opportunities for innovation. There are opportunities. Challenges are opportunities for innovation, and there are opportunities for creativity. And sometimes when we are avoiding challenges, we are avoiding opportunity for us to be more creative and innovative, and we are in that space right now.
Let me take this call. Layemi from Lagos Island. Thanks for calling.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
From Lagos Island. Number one, I'm the first caller. I'm very happy to join you.
Welcome to the show, Layemi.
Number one, I want to be very supportive about what you have said, but there's only one thing that is a bit contradicting to my own view. Okay. Talking about the financial area, talking about the economy of the home, I think the lies in the hands of women. Because you are the one that's being open to our blind spots. I believe that if the home is well structured and well managed, it will be the work of the women. Thank you for that. And that's talking about...
Sorry, Layani, I need you to say that again. We didn't hear that. We didn't hear what you said. Please say it again.
I said that talking about the home management, the lives in the hands of the women, talking about the housewives, and talking about putting money for the queue and everything. Even there are some things that we men appreciate, and we even contradicting it. We even say it like, for you not to be feeling purpose, but in our back of our mind, we know that what I put is not what I'm eating.
Okay.
But the ego, the men, you're not able to see, because you know that immediately we praise you, the next line of argument is, you know what? So what I'm just trying to pick out there is that there are some times that you'll be doing something and we will not even tell you thank you. But in our mind, we know that
we're grateful. Please say thank you next time.
Added money to you.
Vocally grateful.
And there are sometimes too, when we are being corrected over you, we know that you are right. But we just want you to realize our own point of view. So that as a man, and later when we see that your own point is more valid,
Thank you very much, Layani. I didn't hear the latter part of it. But let's bring the conversation down to even the lower part of the society. People who, they don't have a lot of options because of the minimum wage. They are earning 30,000 or some are earning 50,000.
Before you go there, we're still talking fashion. I've not said anything about fashion.
Okay.
Let me quickly say about fashion.
All right, let's talk about fashion. Then we'll come back to the...
And I'm just being very, very honest here that I've been doing thrift in recent times, I haven't done... Okay, so let me say what thrift is, in case you don't know. Thrift is Tush way of saying...
It's just English way.
It's an English way of saying better select, you know. We are going to... Somebody is helping me to shop at Kotangwa. And I had no idea. So I wanted to buy a particular bodysuit. And I've been looking at it online, and the price was just ridiculous. So I was saying it in front of my staff, who just gifted me one. And I smelled it. And you know, you would, when you buy those stuff, it smells, it has a particular...
You're a client.
Yeah.
She has experience.
So, yes, I've bought it when I was much in school. I was in Yabatek. We used to go to Yabatek and pick it. You know, so I knew what it smelled like. And I was grateful to God that I had left that category. But it's been a blessing. So when she bought it, and I really liked it, it was in good quality. I watched it. I've rocked it on the show. You have complimented me. You did not know how much that it was like 1,500 naira that I bought the top. She has gotten me a few more tops. She got sleepwear for my children. And I just realized that I was spending a lot of money. And because the children outgrow this thing so fast. So you buy me the shorts, and they can wear those shorts at like 500 naira, 1,000 naira for shorts. And they will wear it in the next... at home, play around. It doesn't have to be a brand new outfit. It saved me a whole lot, and I am grateful.
Okay.
For fashion too.
See, when it comes to this thrifting, when people almost apologize for doing it, I'm wondering why. Thrift is okay. You know, don't feel bad. But I understand maybe from the economic standpoint where you feel like there was a time you needed to, and now you don't have to. But there's nothing wrong with going somewhere else that you can reuse. Reuse, recycle, please, we're all for that. So I'll tell you also, a lot of people do like garage sales, people who are traveling, they do for everything, household items, you know. Recently I got some solar lights for my garden. It was thrift. I got, so it's okay. Please don't give it a bad name.
That's
Then for people that buy ashwebis, so for me, I never used to buy ashwebi. There's no, in fact, I'm looking for the person that will make me buy ashwebi on this earth, right? And I realized that a lot of money goes into this ashwebi, especially because you can't rewear it for other occasions. Because one, especially for people that think that I only want to be the one wearing this outfit in an occasion, so it's just a lot of waste. So you may decide to cut down on ashwebi and decide that, okay, I'll take ashwebi from family and friends alone. Then another thing for people that shop on media, for people
You're talking to Mariah.
Sorry, calm down. Wait, listen. I'm not ashwebi, no. You're right. You're 100% right. Some of us, the truth is that, you know, it has become somewhat a type of culture for us. So there are celebrations where I will ask, is there ashwebi? I would like to support, for me, it's a way of supporting the event. I mean, maybe it's because of my own background. I must support you with what you're wearing. I must identify with you. That is me. But it doesn't mean that I will go overboard. So every single person I'll buy ashwebi. No, people who I feel that I'm close to, I feel that, listen, I need to be part of your event. I'll absolutely do ashwebi, but it's not for everybody. You're right. Some people do go over the board. They go over the board, and they just want to, so you don't have to. But I would do ashwebi if I have to. If it's somebody I believe in, as somebody that's my friend, family, I'll do ashwebi.
I understand the pressure of coming from a family like hers. There's an auntie.
My auntie will be doing something.
So you bought for auntie, and then you not buy for this auntie. What are you saying?
Exactly.
My mom has
look with their own, please.
18. And she has to buy ashwebi 18 times.
So I saw that.
Yeah.
So I was saying that, no, for myself, I'm not going to.
Whoa.
Then the second thing I was going to say was that for people that show up on media so often, you can decide to collaborate with brands, right? In exchange for mention, for
brands don't
website, they can work.
They don't want again.
They don't want again.
Cash
they
now.
want
That was back then. Now everybody wants their cash. Drop
money.
it and take. Okay, let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we're going to bring in our guest because hopefully she can give us some proper insight on how we can manage our finances during this new season of subsidy removal. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Joining this conversation now is Abiola Adediran. She is a chartered accountant, a certified, a certified project manager from APMG International, and also UK. She holds an MBA from Edinburgh Business School, Herod Watt University, Scotland, with a major in finance and strategy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So before you came, we're discussing how do we manage our finances, how do we manage our resources in view of the reality today. And everybody was talking about how they're managing their soup, their hair, their fashion, family, and all that. Let's come to you. Let's start with budgeting. Let's start with finances. How are we able to manage our resources? How would you suggest we start?
Interestingly, I've been listening in on the conversations that you've been having, and it's been very, very practical, down to earth. So I'm not coming here to bring textbook knowledge to you, right? We're going to make it as practical as possible. And the truth is that before we even get into budgeting, I would say first know yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, you don't know your financial situation, you don't even know how to budget right. So you need to first of all establish what are your income levels, right? Husband, wife, or even as a single person. Just know where your income level is, then know what your expense level is as well. What's your average cost of living as a household? What are the things that take money out of your pocket? Like, what are your top 3 things, big things that take money out of your pocket? Because when you establish that, then budgeting is easy, right? So for instance, if as a household, we only have one source of income, we know that we can only budget what is coming in from that one source. And then if we look at all our expenses, which a lot of us don't do, we just spend. We don't even know how the money goes. And then we realize, oh my God, I don't have money again, I'm broke, right? If you track your expenses, you are then able to say, oh, these are the things that are taking money out of me. Are there alternatives to this thing? Do we even really need some of these things? Can we cut out some of these things? And then when you're clear on that, then you can do budgeting, because at times people even budget and they can't stick with the budget because they are not in tune with their reality. And that reality could mean that, hey, we need to make more money. Because by the time you get to the bare bone of all of your expenses, you realize that, okay, these ones are basic. We can't do without it. We must have it. These ones are luxury items. Let's do away with it or find alternatives for it. And then by the time you come to terms with that, you then know how much income you need to sustain yourself as a family, and then plan for other things that you want to do outside of your basic, things that you need to do as a family or as an individual, as a single person. So budgeting is easier when you know yourself. Are you paying debt? Do you have a mortgage you're paying? Your reality will be different from mine if you have a loan that you are servicing and I don't have a loan. So it can be, the same for different people.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Okay, yes. So I hear you say this, and I'm thinking of someone that's working in an office that gets a salary. But then, if we're talking about the majority of Nigerians and the fact that it's hugely informal, a lot of people have money that they put out, put in your business, take out, and use for your day-to-day. For those sort of people, how would they manage, really? Because for them, it's the money I have to spend today, I need to make it today.
That's really tough. But I would say that, you see, once you are clear on what you need on a daily basis, it even helps. Okay. Because what that then means is that you must do the work that will bring that money, really. So if on an average, whatever, we spend maybe 10K per day as a household, buy food, pay for this and that, it means that every time I go out, when I'm coming back, I must make 10K. Otherwise, we won't eat, or there are certain things we won't be able to do, right? So it will be a bit tough, but the reality is that know first, have information. Once you have information, it helps you with planning.
And even for some of us also internally, we should also consider reviewing how we can help those around us. Because I know that my driver recently, he was telling me that obviously things like cost of transportation has gone way up. And he knows that I have my former house. I'm still using my former house. I'm still paying rent there because I use it as my office. So he calculated how much his transport was. And I said, listen, if I remove this money from my salary, there's nothing else. He now begged me that can he stay in our former house, which is just close by. And we allowed him to be, so he stays there from Mondays to Fridays. And goes home Fridays, comes back. So he's with his family Friday to Sunday, but his family has released him Monday to Friday. So he stays there. At least he saves 5 working days of of transportation fare.
Right.
So that's him
Being
thinking.
creative.
Creative. So he did what you said, which is know how much my cost is.
Exactly.
I can't afford it. Let me stay. And he came to his employer, and I was able to accommodate. So these are things that we also have to see what we can do to help those around us, because those are the lower parts of society that need need reconsideration.
But you know, Mariam's question is very, very important in that my mom sells and buys on a daily basis, and it's been a battle balancing that account because what she's selling are small items with small profits, and the trading capacity has reduced. She was saying she has never bought bread and it went bad, but that for the first time, people are not buying bread as much as before, so she had to reduce the stock of bread she's buying because the purchasing power has reduced. So for her, my conversation with her was now like, okay, mommy, you cannot, from your goods, you cannot touch that money, which is very tough for someone that is in her 60s to make that decision. But this money, you cannot touch it. You need to know that you must calculate what you've sold and know that my 10% is my profit that I can take out at the end of the day. So you can only touch the money at the end of the day. And you have to stop selling on credit. It's tough for her. She has not obeyed me till now. I'm sure at this time she has already sold credit today. People are buying on credit and they are not paying. And I have to beg business owners, please, if you are doing small trading, you can't afford to be selling on credit anymore because you are losing your capital in trying to sustain another person's kindness.
Yeah. So, for entrepreneurs, I think the conversation is a bit more touching. So I'll give an example. There's a raw material I buy in my business. It was 2,500. By the next time I called to buy that same raw material, it was 6,500.
Times 3.
Yeah. So what do I do? Where do I go from here? So for example, you know, the increase in Forex also, we just wake up one day and see that we can't really even plan with the income that we already have. Or the, I mean, so my question is, what advice would you give entrepreneurs that sell, and even when they sell, they can't restock with that same money?
It's a tough environment. I can tell you, nobody really has all the answers.
Yeah.
In fact, where we are right now is scenario testing. Like you're trying different things and you're just trying to see what works. Now, the cost of raw materials and everything that goes into your business has increased. Even the ones that you're buying like whole, maybe you're just trading, it's already finished. The price of those things have also gone up. The truth is that there's only so much your customers can take. Imagine you're thinking of increasing your prices.
I'm even selling shea butter.
Oh.
How do you say shea butter is now, you know?
It's not everybody that is going to be able to take that increase. So you will have to take some of the loss as a business owner. It's the reality because everybody is feeling the pain. Yeah. Everybody is feeling the pinch. And the disposable income that everybody has been reduced by more than half, I dare say, right? So you can't even say as a business owner, I will just increase my price. No, that's not how it's going to work. You will lose business because people will then look for alternatives, and then what happens to your business? So it means that you're taking part of that loss, meaning that your profit margin will reduce, right? So it's a reality. What I say to business owners is, this is the point where we actually have to think out of the box if we've not been doing that before. We have to get more creative and innovative. You have to diversify your income base. You have to find complementary products and services that can also be other sources of income for your business. It's real. Like if you are a business person, you are a salary earner, it's the same thing. I tell people that are in 9-to-5 career. I mean, abroad, people work 2-3 jobs. They're not different from us.
They don't spend 3 hours inside traffic.
I know, right? But you have to then deal with your realities. They pay them by the hour. You have to deal with your reality. So if you're working at a job now that takes the whole of 9 hours from you, you have to start asking yourself, do I need to change this job and get something that will give me a bit more flexi time to do other things? Because that's what other people do. We're thinking survivor here, right?
I have a friend who moved his children from the school because it takes 2 hours to get to school because of traffic. He moved them to an estate school.
Let me give you the gist. My children's school, they just sent us the bill and we're still breathing, right? Like ×2.
Yeah.
And we had an increase the last session. Exactly. Right? So everybody's going to look at alternatives. Abroad, people homeschool their children. Is it an option for you? You may have to think about that. If you're not homeschooling, what are the other alternative options? Okay, maybe I take my child to a school that is not so expensive, but I can complement with some other things.
Yeah, those are things that have to be considered.
So those are things that we must have, we have to just be very practical.
There's another example in, what you just discussed, which is, do I keep my child in boarding school or do I make my child a day student? Day student means increased bus fares, so most schools do those bus services, and I heard some schools were saying that we're not doing it anymore because it's going to go up.
Yes.
So do I keep my child in boarding school because at least it will take out the cost of transportation daily, or do I keep this child at home? And you're just wondering, it's a big decision now.
Yes.
But
you're thinking of
would you say, Abiola, that there's something called this artificial wealth that we thought we had in this country? So, for example, restaurants were springing up left, right, and center. People were having hotels every corner, everybody was, But with the realities now, not a lot of people can afford those hotels anymore, can afford to go to restaurants, can afford to do those nice, fine dining that we used to enjoy because things are different. So would you, if you were consulting for some of these businesses, is it to diversify or to shut down?
In some cases, they may have to change their business model. If you're not in a business where you're providing basic things right now, your business may be challenged because you don't have a lot of people now who can afford luxury things.
Yes.
Right? So you're going to see revenue shrinking. And that is why I say you may have to diversify your business model. You may have to find complementary products and services that are maybe low end that can complement what you currently offer. Right? So the picture will look different for different businesses, right? But you have to find what works for you. Like artificial money, artificial wealth, maybe, maybe not, right? But I think something must have informed the people that went into all of these sort of businesses because there's just that perception, especially in Lagos, which is a huge metropolis, a lot of business activities and all that. But now the reality is that you have to look back in the business again and ask yourself questions, very tough questions. Is this business model still sustainable in today's economy? How do we survive and thrive in this economy? I mean, this time will pass, but in this moment, we have to survive. And it's
so
a reality.
Talking about this time will pass, it's important because is it all just doom and gloom? When you talk about economic crisis, people have built businesses during this time. What are the positives? What can open up for people in an economic crisis?
I think what she mentioned when she was talking the other time was the fact that challenges force us to be creative and innovative. And I think that the people that will make money in this economy are the people that are going to solve the problems that we're dealing with right now, right? And I think that is how we should all think. There's a sense in which, all you see is just the doom and gloom and all the bad press and bad news and news that just make you feel depressed. You wake up on a daily basis and you're wondering, oh God, what again today? Do you understand? I just feel like, first of all, as business owners and as individuals, guard your heart, first of all. Okay. Guard your heart. Make sure that you guard your peace of mind so that you have clarity to think. Because we really need solutions, actually. And it is in a place of clarity that you can actually be able to come up with practical solutions that can help a lot of people. If somebody is able to find alternative energy source that is cheaper, don't you think that people will go for it? You will make cool money solving people's problems because, it's a reality. Diesel is at 600 and whatever, and then it's still going to increase from what we hear. So we're saying, consider alternative energy sources. Somebody should be thinking about that. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if you're able to, crack it and create a solution, you make a whole lot of money.
Let me go on a break. When we come back, I'd like you to move into the practical. We discussed a bit about practical earlier, but I'd like us to just go further, especially those who are really, really in need at the lower end of society. They need help. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so we're still discussing with Abiola Adeniran on this how to manage our finances. We're trying to come back to the lower side of the society, practical tips. There's somebody watching who's on a Okada rider, who's a Keke Napep rider, and is depending on his daily income, fuel has gone up. Somebody was telling us earlier that they have a figure. No, they don't go past the half tank. You know, I now have a figure. I don't care where the tank is. This is the figure I am buying, regardless of where it reaches. That is where it is. You know, but what kind of tips would you give people who are really earning the minimum wage and they need help?
I think for a lot of people, I mean, the truth is that a lot of people are actually at that level in Nigeria, right? The reality of daily income is so real that you only eat out of what you make, right? The thing then is, you know, how much of that can you do? How much of it can you recruit other people to do or leverage other people to do, right? Because you are limited, right? So if I'm an Okada rider, I only ride one bike, right? Is there anything else I can do if I'm riding bike? And that is all that I do. What do I have? What hobbies, for instance, do I have that I can monetize? So if I ride Okada during the week and maybe on Saturdays I go do MC somewhere or alaga somewhere or assist with event planning somewhere, I make some small money here and there. I just feel like people need to look beyond what they currently do. Because the truth is that you may have maxed out the possibilities around it, and it may mean that you're looking at other areas. Look around your environment and say, what else can I do? So for instance, there's something a friend of mine started to do. One of the things she did was she wanted to declutter her home because clearly there was waste, right? So she had clothes that she wasn't using. She had a lot of things that she wasn't using. So she brought everything out and she decided to do like a yard sale. What did she now do? She now started to tell her friends that declutter your home as well. I can help you to sell those things. Before you know it, she has created business.
Wow.
Absolutely. From things that people don't need. And she can barely, I mean, some people don't even need a lot of money for those things anyway. So she'll get it from them and then she will trade it. And some of those things are equally really good stuff, right? So what I tell people is, see, look around you. Don't just focus on, oh, this is what I do right now. If you think and think and think and you don't see how you can expand that thing, it's time to look into other areas and start to diversify. If I sell water, what else is complementary to water? You know, that brings me additional income. What do I have? What do I do? Do I know how to make hair? Can I make hair? Can people come to my house? I don't even have to carry, I don't have to have a store. You know, because people are fixated on how much it would take them to start. Start anyhow.
Let me take this call from Oladipo. Good morning, Oladipo. Thanks for calling.
Hello, good morning.
You're live.
How is your day?
Very well.
I always enjoy your program.
Thank you, sir.
God will bless you.
Amen.
Let me tell you something. Here we are wasting. We always waste. We waste resources. It's good that we are learning now. And everybody will buy. We buy what we don't need. Before you can make us in this economy, you must increase your revenue and reduce your expenses. And a lot of problem is women. Your woman always buy something big. Women don't look their fault. Well, husband says this is what I can avoid. Woman says this is what I want you to do. And this economy, what you can do is services. Because business has collapsed. You must learn how to give people services. If you give people services, they will patronize you.
Thank you very much. I think we lost that call, but thank you. We got the message.
So my question is, you know, it's tough times. Let's say you're earning just a bit and you're still trying to figure out what other creative ways to make money, which would invest, maybe, which will entail some investment, and then you have debts. Which should you deal with first? You have them knocking on your door every day, please, madam, pay me my money. Or do you take the money and put into the business? Which should come first?
It's something that is so practical, and I know that there are some people in that situation right now. Have conversation is what I would say. Everybody knows what is happening. Have conversation. Don't run away. Don't try to avoid paying your debt. Have conversation. Renegotiate your debt. So if you were supposed to pay over a 6-month period, okay, can we extend this thing to 18 months? And commit to what you have committed to, and then go back and do your homework. on how you are going to make sure that you meet up with that obligation as it falls due. But have conversation. Everybody will be, it's just like during COVID period, when we were all going through the same thing, and everybody, I mean, clearly around the world, you find that people became kinder, you know, because again, it's just the reality of the world, right? Have conversation, negotiate. But more importantly, you need to do beyond what you're doing now in terms of expanding your income source. There are things that take money out of you right now that you can actually do something about so that you save that money. Interestingly, in my home now, we make our own dishwashing liquid. Something that I would just say, go and buy Morning Fresh, go and buy this, go and buy that. I make it now. I learned. Wow. I went on YouTube. I learned and I got somebody to, I'm telling you. So my dishwasher, everything, the one in the toilet and everything.
And it will smell amazing.
Oh, yes.
In
fact, I use different fragrances as I like it.
Wow, I have to go learn that.
You know, and in my mind, I was telling my husband, I said, I want to start branding this thing so I can start distributing it to my friends. You know, if I take it seriously, I mean, really, that's business already.
You know, the last caller said something about we're very wasteful, wasting resources. How do we, and what kind of tips can we share on how to reduce waste? You know, here in Nigeria, we turn on the electricity anyhow. My brother used to tell me back then, don't be leaving lights on during the day. In my house, the kids all the TVs are on. You go downstairs, the ACs are on. We had to really call everybody, listen, you cannot. Our last bill a few months ago was over 100,000. Last month, the bill was reduced drastically. My husband said, Maria, what did you do? The bill has reduced. I said, what did you do? I said, first of all, the washing machine, they used to run it like back to back. Everybody, once you put clothes, just dump it. I said, nah, it's just Saturday and Wednesday. Anything that cannot wash within those days, forget it.
Use your hands.
You use your hands. You know, everybody, I really reduced waste. And now I'm seeing that the numbers are changing, you know. So what can we do also in houses to reduce wastefulness? Because we are very wasteful in this country.
I think first of all is education. Educate everybody in your household, including your children. I'll give you an example. Last Sunday, you know, we finished eating dinner and my son said, oh, Mommy, what happened to dessert?
Yeah.
Am I? Young man.
You have watched TV too. You have watched too much.
No, they normally have this in their house.
I mean, we usually have like parfait. I would do something with Greek yogurt and granola and, you know, dry nuts and stuff. And then we didn't have that. And he was like, Mommy, what happens? I said, young man, we now have salad.
Salad.
No, I mean salad with lettuce, carrot, and cabbage. You are good now. I said, let's infuse healthier options.
I like it.
I'm telling you, healthier options. You know, with your salad, you know, you get a lot more vitamins. I started to school them. I think what is more important is have conversation with the people in your household. Now my kids know how much we pay on their school fees. Before, we didn't used to share that information. Now they know, right? So I said, in case you are in class and for some reason your mind is drifting, you're not paying attention, just know that you're burning your parents' money. You know, so have conversation, because the truth is that these kids actually understand. We think they don't, but they do. See the way you've established that schedule around washing and see how it has just cut down something, you know, drastically. In my house, nobody puts off on lights anymore. Anything from 7 a.m. in the morning, all the lights are off. Because by then,
we have a light police. My daughter, her husband made her the light police. Go around and make sure the lights are turned off. She actually feels responsible for making sure the lights are turned off.
Absolutely. We don't turn on our generator until it is 7 p.m.
So for me, I think I mentioned earlier I took off lesson.
Oh, yeah, so me too.
I took off lesson because I calculated how much I was spending on lesson teaching, and I felt that that's a whole lot. I'll make the sacrifice and sit with them and it will also give us bonding time as a parent to child. So I took out the lesson and we had a conversation. My kids used to like to do basketball and kineko. So we had a conversation. Do you really want to do this? Are you just going there to go and play and meet friends? Because if that's what you're doing, then it's costing me money to do it. So I know one person convinced me I really want to continue. The other two were like, well, we actually don't really like it. So we were just wasting money. We took that out as well. So it's a case of, like you said, studying your pocket, But there's something I learned that I want to share for free with the audience. That is something I'm doing. I've been brainstorming about it. For whatever product I say, take your product to a new market and create a new product for your existing market. That it's something, and in practical terms, maybe you are selling clothes. Okay. You are selling shirt and trouser. All your customers have already bought your shirt and trouser. You need to create a new product for them. Then this your shirt and trouser that your customers have already bought. Some other people have not seen your product. So you need to expose your product to a new market. And if you are able to think through that journey and write a list of the new markets you want to approach and how you approach them, then you have found the solution. So for me, it might be, I don't do MCing much, but MCing used to bring in money. So I need to now go back and rebrand my MCing with price and I have my rate card, I'll put it more out there that I can do corporate MC for your inspirational events. You want to do motivational events, you can always call me. So because I know that this can also be a stream of income for me. So, and I'm not tapping into it. So I write that down and I push it outside very well. So
okay, let me go on our final break. When we come back, we'll come to you, Toby. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, thanks for staying with us. This is our final lap on this show. Toby, you're going to jump in here?
Yes. For everyone, old age will come, right? And that's the reality. And with our current earnings now, a lot of people will say, you don't even reach me. How do you want me to save for old age? So what would you advise the average Nigerian who seems to not have enough at this time, but should consider the old age?
Retirement savings.
That's interesting. And the truth is that you can't even forget about that and just live only in the moment, right? Because the tomorrow you were thinking of is already today, right? And we're facing what it is right now. If you had money, if you had reserve that you had built over the years, I think you'll feel the pinch less than somebody that really doesn't have anything to fall back on, right? So what is important is that don't think about shrinking alone. Think about expansion as well. Because I tend to dwell more on the expansion part because the natural thing that an average person will do in this type of economic downturn is to shrink. And that is what a lot of people are preaching. But it's a fair balance that you must have. So in shrinking, I would say cut down your costs, reduce wastage as much as possible, recruit every member of your household to understand that they must, reduce wastage. And, we were saying behind the, during the break, that even your children, start to educate them to understand how to make money. Let them start to have that sort of entrepreneurial mindset, because when they do, they become your crusader in cutting down costs. When you make money and you know how money is made, you will naturally cut down costs. You won't spend anyhow.
An important thing I'd like us to touch on before we wrap up, it concerns our mental, the way we think, the way our exposure. Because many of us here have traveled out of the country and we see how even our counterparts, they don't leave lights on anyhow. They walk most of the time. Some of them don't even own cars. There's public transportation. They manage their resources. They don't buy the kind of flamboyant fashion we do. We just go over there, we wear our fine clothes, go out to visit our friends abroad. They are there with their jeans and T-shirt, and they're fine.
All of us want to be Beyonce,
and we all want to be on, and they are just fine. And we have this mentality that we have to do this thing, we have to look at this certain way. And we have arrived from Lagos, and we are the big girls from Lagos, and they're looking at you like, oh yeah, wow, cool. But they're not even impressed with all your. So how do we change that mindset? Our mindset, especially those of us in Nigeria.
In fact, I think we need to embrace that minimalist mindset. There's no point trying to be like follow the Joneses. What's that thing called? You're trying to be like your neighbor who has 3 cars. You too, you must buy your next car. You have 3 cars. You have a problem, fueling it right now.
Exactly.
At this point, you have to ask yourself, should we be disposing of one?
Yeah.
Do you see? I mean, people should really just learn to live life, in a way that is not just wasteful. Yeah. I think an average Nigerian, I dare say, is wasteful, whether poor or rich. And I think that it's a mindset thing. Yeah. It's something that we were unconsciously schooled.
Money.
Yes.
It's our money.
We just feel like things will take care of themselves somehow. But even in what we have, we're still wasteful with it. right? And I think that this is going to force a lot of people to start to pay attention to those things. There are a lot of assets that you have right now that you're not even sweating. I mean, I'm a family business advisor. We work with families. Sometimes we're reviewing their assets, and those assets are sitting down, lying fallow. We're talking about what do you do, you know, as you plan towards old age. What are you doing with the assets that you have acquired so far? How well are you sweating those assets to make money for you? Right? So it's not so much about how much you're putting in on a daily basis in terms of the actual active work. What about your other passive income sources? You've invested, maybe you bought one land somewhere. The land has been there for 5 years, nothing is happening. Give it out to somebody that can farm on it and pay you rent on the land. You know, there's so many things that we can do, right? Our homes, maybe you have a portion of your home that you're not using. Can somebody rent it as warehouse or something and make money?
Just there, doing nothing.
You know, we have assets, and you need to really pay attention to be able to see these things. They are there.
You're right about this wastefulness.
It's so correct. In fact, we need another show.
I mean, if you think about it, we do have some assets that are just lying down, followers.
That's how Airbnb became a thing. Because a lot of people had their rooms that were available and they're able to make money from renting it out. I think it's important. We just have to keep on thinking about it and don't see... Mariah asked a very important question. She said the mindset. And, you know, I was saying during the break that I cautioned myself. I had a Monday meeting with my staff and I said, I have been lamenting a lot, which is very unlike me. And I don't like complaining. But every time I've been shouting about fear over and over again. And it is not, you don't want to be in that space. So yes, you acknowledge that there's a tightening of belts, there are challenges, but you must not, if you are in that space where you are meditating on that challenge, you are not going to solve it. And you will remain in that space and you'll be unresourceful. For you to be resourceful, for you to unlock creativity, you must see opportunity. You must say, this challenge is an opportunity for me to make money. How do I make money from this? So that's the mindset we must work on. So yes, you are going to the market, you are saying, pepper is expensive. You feel like, so Lord, how do I make money from this expensive pepper? That way you are unlocking your creativity.
You also, when you started, you also said something about guarding your heart. And I love that. I grabbed it immediately. So if you're hanging out with people who are just spending in this time and you know you can't keep up, find another group and guard your mental health.
Find another circle. My husband sold our car. He sold just last month. He sold one of the cars. We can't keep doing all this variety of cars. Sell this one. They said, you know, because we needed to adjust our brains. That's the reality. I was telling the ladies earlier that I promised my son that we'll do a vacation this year. I really promised him. But when we look at the numbers, my husband said, Mariah, I don't care which kind of, you report me to. They are not going anywhere. Nowhere. And I reported him to everybody that we could find. They begged my husband. Brown said, look at the numbers, Mariah. It's not possible. If we go, fine, we can afford it. But when we now come out and now start drinking Gary, are you okay? Look at it now. So when he really made me see that, listen, we can plan next year. We're now putting money aside gradually. And those who traveled, it's because they planned it. They didn't just wake up and say they want to travel. So you have to really let us put our thinking. So, I mean, it's not easy for anybody. The reality that we must be truthful to yourself. And what you spend. Any final words as we wrap up?
In fact, I think the final word I'm going to leave with everybody is don't wallow in shrinking thinking. Expand your mind. Because the truth is that there are opportunities, and these times are supposed to help us see those opportunities and harness them. And like I said, anybody that is able to solve some of these wicked problems that we're dealing with right now will make a lot of money. I'm telling you, because value flow to people who solve problems. That's just it. So don't just sit wallowing and complaining. In that thing that you are complaining, there are solutions. It's only when you see it that you're able to unlock it. So this time too shall pass and expand your mind so that you can.
So just in case you missed it, she said, don't wallow in the shrinking thinking. Expand your mind. You can't do that. Abiola, I did 2023. All right, have a lovely day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye.